Let's go.
My banana bread's in the frame.
Oh man, this is a good one for entertainment purposes today. I think we normally like to talk about the clubs that we like, and we always talk about United and Inter, and now we get to talk about your other favourite club.
I did say today, driving here, that there's two teams I would never wear. It's AC Milan and Liverpool. Even though I support United, I love the colour red. I just despise Liverpool and I despise AC Milan.
I'm not going to lie. So we do a bit of prep coming into every episode, and I tried to swing with the ultra football guys that we had to wear the training kits. The fourth kit that we're going to talk about today. And I was kind of trying to hope that we could coax you into wearing a Milan shirt, but obviously not. You've done well though. Your kit's nice.
It is a good shirt. Yes, thank you. This is a bit of a plug. This is a PFC special. Can you tell me more about it? It's Maldini.
Yeah, Maldini. Yeah. So number 5 on the back, which is crazy. Man, that design, that kit. All Nike Italy kits were sick, but that particular one is.
I definitely will be wearing this in Italy when I visit in July. Won't be wearing this because I'll be visiting Milan and be wearing the blue and black. But we are talking about a great shirt today.
Yeah,
I think these episodes that we've been doing lately, of course, are integrated by what's coming new to Ultra. So we don't really have a sort of freedom to plug things from the front of shop at the moment because it's all been out for about 6 or 7 months.
Yeah, it's sort of like we're kind of midway plus World Cup plus the rest of the season.
Yeah, there's a few more kits coming out soon, but I feel like this season there hasn't been really many special releases. But to have something like this is perfect timing for us.
Yeah, amazing. We all love like a special release kit, and we always see home and away get released early on in the season, and then for example, Nike will drop all their fourth kits around the same time a little bit later on.
They're not releasing fourth kits though this year.
Third kits.
Yeah.
And then it was always like PSG dropping like a Jordan collab or something similar.
Even that collab has just sort of fizzled off for me. We spoke about the other episode with Ryan.
Yeah, and I guess we'll later in the app we'll run through a few different collabs that we can
definitely talk
historically pull back on. But yeah, so today we've got AC Milan's 4th shirt, which is signed with a collab between, is it Koche? Is that how it's pronounced?
Koche, yeah.
Koche.
And I was waiting for you to say Koche.
Yeah, Koche from
Sunrise.
From Sunrise.
For those playing at home, if you're not European, it's just a morning host that is not the best for football.
It would be like a morning show version of like David Letterman.
Let's not talk about him. He's so anti-round ball. But yeah, look, today's episode is going to be a special one because we're talking about this pretty cool, I think, collaboration between a club and a fashion designer.
Yes.
Should we talk about that straight away, get into it? Or did you want to mention the Carabao Cup? I know it was a good morning for me. You did write in here. So
yeah, Carabao Cup, United won, blah, blah, blah.
United.
We're talking about United enough. Let's talk about more teams that you actually
I do like how ESPN's like, is United going on to the quadruple?
Wow. Really?
In contention for the FA, in contention for the league. Arsenal could always slip up. And then, we've got the Europa. I know it's not Champions League, but still.
Does that count as a quadruple?
Trophies?
Yeah, I guess it does.
4 trophies. It is pretty good, unlike Chelsea at the moment.
Oh, we're honking. We've won. I looked this morning. Chelsea have won 4 games since October last year.
That's not good.
It's so bad.
That's not good.
So bad.
That's actually pretty disappointing.
I like, when they release like ladders from like in calendar year results or whatever it is. I wouldn't be surprised. I haven't seen the Premier League one so far this season, but I wouldn't be surprised if Chelsea's very far down.
Yeah, I think from last time I checked, it was about 11th to 12th.
Yeah.
But it's disappointing because, you look at clubs around the world at the moment. It's so sad to see FC Union Berlin lose to Bayern. But, there's clubs out there that are really, struggling for financial purposes and they're still doing well. And then you see clubs like Chelsea who spend almost more money than... I think they spent the most money in the transfer window, even collectively compared to leagues.
Yeah, I was going to say that's from some leagues.
And to see where they are, is it time for gelling or is it time for a bit of progress? And do you give enough time to Potter?
I don't know. It's hard. I think the one thing that I found a bit troubling and I guess concerning as a fan, I was sort of you see players like Felix come in and his first game I was like, oh wow, he's great. Modric was the same. I was like, oh, this guy's good. And then it starts to dwindle off and it kind of makes you think, oh, is the manager just so restrictive on letting these guys that are attacking players not have the freedom and the range that they need to do what they want to do and do what they're good at? So I don't know, TBA on that. I feel like there's just so many issues there.
Oh, let's move on to the Milan thing, a topic that I definitely don't want to talk about. But Milan itself is a fashion capital.
Yeah.
You did raise a few questions in here in this document today, and it really got me thinking about the whole collaboration being fashion.
Yeah. So obviously there's a club with Koche who's French, right?
Yeah.
So she's from Paris. She's done a few cool collabs in the past. She's worked with
PSG, Fashion Runway.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think there was another one. Gucci. There's a few designers as well. That's
Yeah.
And yeah, no, I think it's cool. Like it's like this whole crossover between like fashion
Brands and
and
clubs,
football is growing, and it's something that's getting more and more recognized. Quick plug: how amazing that they give it in a box.
It is something that Puma does, because when I
Yeah.
bought the Puma Dortmund shirt,
Yes,
that
yeah.
came in exactly the same box dimensions and everything.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more effort, but I feel like when it's a special shirt, it's amazing. I do love it. We'll show a shirt soon. I do love the gold sort of emblem connected to the jersey and the box. But I think overall Puma's done a great job in presentation.
I think it's nice. I love it. I modeled PFC's boxes off the Dortmund kit,
Yeah.
and like that
Did
was
you get
their.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had it. I had it and moved it on, but
Yeah.
The Dortmund one was the '95 inspired Drake
The
Rainbow
Drake
design.
Rainbow,
Yeah,
yeah.
that Puma did, and everyone got a bit upset about. Yeah. But yeah, I think that like that first and foremost, you're getting a bit more value than just
You're
buying a
getting a
shirt off the
collector's
rails.
item.
Yeah,
Yeah,
correct.
you're getting a box. It's not like the Red Bull thing that I got. You saw yesterday.
Yeah, that's
But
it. That's out there.
This
Yeah.
itself, I think it evaluates. The prices are pretty high. I think people complaining, but then again, I think we're coming to a moment of time where prices are pretty high. So if you are willing to buy a shirt like this, you're going to have to afford it,
Yeah.
Again, I always say buy what you can afford. Don't always buy because you want to be keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah, correct.
But it's a great collaboration. I actually have to say thank you to Koche, because they saw my photo shoot that I did with Ultra.
Oh, wow.
I really enjoyed that shoot. Taylor's a great model. She's helped me with my talking shirt stuff.
Yep.
She made the shirt come to life. So shout out to her. Also shout out to Harry for doing a great video. But the kit itself, when I first saw it before it was released, I was like, this is how the collabs need to be.
Yeah.
We are going to talk about the best and the worst that we think. But have you felt the shirt? Have you actually held the shirt yet?
No. Oh, actually, okay. Briefly, I did sit on the mannequin on the way
mannequin,
in.
yeah. Have you actually felt it, like the weight of it?
Yeah, I did. So, it was on the mannequin, so I didn't actually feel the weight per se, but I think definitely the material's different to what Puma have been working with in the previous until now, really, right?
There may have been some shirts here and there because, of course, they have to trial and error with the training shirts. But as we all know, and our friend Rick FSC, is a massive fan of player spec shirts and technology behind shirts. I have to say, so from what I've learnt is that dry sale is being removed from the Puma catalogue.
Yep.
I think they just haven't performed well with the players. You see Nike and Adidas with their dry fit advanced and even heat ready updating technology.
Yeah.
Dry sale is now moving away to Ultra Weave.
Yeah, Ultra. Yeah.
And nice little plug with Ultra in there. But it's great. And it reminds me a lot of the 2002, 2006 sort of Nike Total 90.
Yeah, I think that it's a bit of a weird one too, because like, to be honest, when I touched the shirt for the first time, my like instant sort of connection to the material was the Italy 2006 World Cup
Similar,
shirt.
yep.
And that was kind
Was
of
that Puma?
Yeah, that was Puma as well.
Oh,
that was their
it was that
early days in Puma.
that sort of windbreaker, I call them.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when you run, it's like...
Yeah, I think they started Puma in 2002 or something. It was post-Kappa. And anyway, so yeah, I remembered that. Yeah, it was a lot more baggy, that one back then. And I think it was a thicker material. Now,
Yeah.
obviously, we've developed in terms of technology, style, and the whole design is a lot better. It's a lot more fitted, and it seemed like it would be extremely lightweight. But one thing I noticed was it reminded me of like not like board shorts, but it's like that like water resistant
have
kind
that,
of
yeah,
wicketing
yeah.
material. And I thought that was pretty cool.
It's player spec, so we're going to have to see it. Actually, this morning, I'll try and put the link on. Hopefully, we make some reels. I'm so sorry to everyone watching on our socials. But so this morning, AC Milan did debut the shirt.
Yes.
Looked amazing on Liao. I hate saying it. I love the guy. He's a great footballer. The shirt looks so good. Their last collaboration with the other brand, I think it was like the white painted with the shirt. Sort of.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
It was
that.
Neiman, I think, the designer. I wasn't a fan of it, but it looked amazing on the pitch.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm going to say right now. We'll talk more about the actual shirt and we'll show you everyone. But I would say if a fashion label designer, anyone collaborates with a club or football team or football design, the shirt has to look good on the pitch. It can't just look good off the pitch because that's what it's made for, but it has to look good on the pitch. The shorts, the socks, it's a whole
The whole thing
trifecta.
looks amazing. Yeah, I think I saw a few photos of Zlatan. Actually, I think he returned as well this week. And yeah, him obviously wearing the full kit. I was like, oh man, that looks good.
It's iconic. I feel like we'll get the shirt out. You want me to show you and you can talk about it? Because I've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you talk. I'll
Sounds
pull the
good.
shirt out.
Oh, how cool! Like, I'm actually so impressed with this. Like little details that they've gone to. It's got a bit of. For those of you listening on Spotify and not watching, it's got inside the box. It's white, so the exterior of the box is black with the similar base layer that the shirt's actually got itself. It's got a little detail about the year, the fact that it's a fourth kit, and then the shirt itself is wrapped in like a what do you call that paper? Like baking paper, but it's not baking paper.
Yeah. Also, do you know how to fold paper? Because we have to refold this.
Yeah, we'll work it out.
Hey, Ultra, if we can you fix this? Yeah. All right. Thanks. They said yeah.
Cheers, guys. Thank you. Wow, what an unveiling. Nicely folded. So actually, one thing I must admit, I'm happy that there's a collar on this shirt because you see now a lot of performance-based, improvements. It's gone like collarless. It's always like a crew neck or round neck kind of collar.
We really need to learn how to fold this up after.
Yeah, this is a very. This is folded up and packaged very intricately. I feel for people that have to repackage these. This is going to be a bit of a mess, but I guess you know what? You're getting a lot of value here in terms of bang for
You are
buck.
buying this. I'm so sorry, but that is going to be. I reckon we leave a little note in here.
There is a little note in there.
No, it's just a sheet. It's just a board.
Oh, okay, it's a
just
backing
keeps
board.
it.
Yeah.
But I reckon, if you buy this special box, we're gonna leave a little BTS thing. Should we do a little giveaway, maybe?
That'd actually be funny. Yeah, we should
do
put
a little
something.
BTS and talking
Whoever
shirt.
ends up with this, I'm actually going to buy one of these for my uncle after this. So
Oh, this is your uncle's then. Done. This is your uncle's. Your uncle coming it. All right. So, first thing I'm going to say is, if you are an AC Milan fan, definitely buy this. I reckon it's going to be one of the best jerseys in the next 5 years. I think having Puma put the effort into this and Koche being an up and coming, I think, brand for the global scene.
Yeah.
It is well known in Europe and of course the fashion scene with the runways. But I feel like Koche have really done well with this design. It's the fact that they've allowed it to be the Ultra Weave collaboration with Puma is again something that I would say is going to test the times. Overall shirt, let's go. I'm going to show it. You talk about it nice and quick. We've already done 12 minutes.
It's quick, goes fast. Do you want me to hold the other side?
No, you
Okay.
talk.
Man, I think for me, the best thing and the first thing that always pops out to me is how they manage sponsors and manufacturers. And I love that. I'm pretty sure they did it across a couple of their kits this year as well. I think their other home shirt, their home shirt has the same thing where they go monochromatic on, I guess it's monochromatic. It's gold, right? They're all gold. They're all the same color. Amazing, right? That's, for me, the first thing is incredible. Yeah, this is really cool. I like whatever this like Puma authentic patch, right?
Yeah, so similar to what Nike and Adidas have, but this authentic patch
Yeah,
is really good.
it's got like a bit of a holographic kind of thing. It sits by the hip.
It's
it
actually
is, yeah.
like stuck onto the shirt, so it doesn't come through to the other end, so no irritation.
No stitching. Yeah, nice. The best thing about performance wear, man, is I love that, and I love the fact that it is, so like conscious of things like that. Just seams being annoying, rashes and all that, heat rash and all that sort of stuff. Irritation is great. It's great that they're really conscious of it. The other thing that for me, man, the collar. Like I know I said it earlier, but
Collars are good.
oh, it's so good. It's really cool to see like such a modern design, and I feel like a collar is a bit of a retro kind of addition.
Yeah.
But it tells me that they're really paying attention to like fashion elements.
It's the small
design
details in a
elements.
shirt that really connect you. I
Yeah.
feel like the best AC Milan shirts that we've seen over time always have a collar. So the
Yeah.
new ones with the V-necks and stuff that Puma have trialed
Yeah.
haven't been sort of connected to that Italian romance design. I look
Yeah.
at this shirt that I'm wearing right now. Nike really brought the collars into the game.
Yeah.
Adidas had their moments, but I think Puma really stood away from their collars. As you can see,
Yeah.
they've always gone for that V-neck or crew neck.
Especially in more recent history.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think maybe it's a player performance thing where
Yeah.
maybe collars have become a bit more of a fashion item.
Yeah.
And to see someone like Koche bring it back is a really good element.
It is cool. One question I wanted to ask. Actually, we'll give it a rating. Let's give it a rating out of 10. What do you think for this?
10 out of 10. It hurts me to say it, but I reckon this is definitely one of the best shirts that
For the season?
AC Milan has had in the last decade.
Yeah.
I know people come back to me and say there's a few other shirts, but I do have to say this as a reimagined design is perfect.
Yeah, I'm going to sit with a 9. I'm not 100% locked into it. I think I'm still... if someone's going to create a new kit, I want it to look like a vintage kit. So that's just me. That's personal preference, right?
course.
That's my
But
my
if
vibe,
you're looking to the future and designing something that's modern,
This is up there,
we've
yeah.
seen the rumors of next year's home shirts. So
Yeah.
there are potentials that that's
I
going to
can't
be
wait.
the iconic kit.
Yeah.
But I feel like when people try to do futuristic designs and bring back sort of the past but mix it with the future,
Yeah.
there's so much you can do with stripes. There's so much you can do with hoops. For example, if Celtic were to go creative and do something with Adidas,
Yeah.
where can they go? Because they've always had the hoops.
But this is a perfect example of an
This is
alternative,
perfect.
right? Yeah.
How many times has Barcelona tried doing something different? They
Yeah.
went 4 years and still going through this transitional period of trying something new.
Yeah.
This is how you do it.
Yeah, and I think that, like, for those listening, right, like, they still maintain that the typical Rossoneri stripes but they've like shifted away in this like pixelated, geometric kind of design that, it reminds me a bit of. I don't know if you did this in like primary school. You had those like shape kind of things where you'd have like a pencil and you'd be able to like draw the circle, perfect circle.
Yeah.
And have different like circles or semicircles, but you'd
Yeah,
move
yeah.
it like a few millimeters and you'd repeat that pattern
Yeah,
over and
always.
over, right? And it'd just keep always.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that, especially towards the bottom. It's almost like these pixels run into this like repeated design, which, and the stripes kind of fade out through the bottom, which is sick.
I think the best part about this pixelated sort of futuristic design is you can get creative and find different altered versions of it. You can run it down to the shorts. Pixels can become just an identity. I'm always a fan of brands that can be a logo, but also a font, but then also little parts of that logo becoming more. So, for example, you see the shirt of itself being this pixelated. They can literally just crop this little area and be like AC Milan 2022 type of thing. You get it?
Yeah.
Like that little part there, black and red, AC Milan.
I wonder if this will be known as like the pixel kit. Like imagine, say something comes of it, right? Like they win a cup of some sort, or
Hope not.
You're so salty about it. But like say hypothetically it does, and does that become like Arsenal have the lightning kit, right?
Yeah,
it's known as the lightning kit, even though there's like I think there's two versions of it. There's a blue and yellow and a.
It's
the blue and blue.
always that. It's always that. It's the sponsored name. So it's like the Pirelli kit or the yellow Pirelli kit or the Coors kit for Chelsea.
Yeah, correct.
Or the Brother kit for Man City.
Yeah.
For me, this is definitely, if Koche does get remembered for it, they've done a great job, because now when you look at this shirt, you're like, it's the Koche kit that AC Milan did. Does this now, as an AC Milan fan, would this now say, hey, make this a yearly thing, an annual thing with Koche? Do the fourth kit with them?
Yeah, well, I guess.
Or do you reckon Puma has to do something more with Koche?
I don't know if Koche specifically. I think it's a great like one-off. Maybe it needs to be like a unearthing of a designer. And this was sort of the only dilemma that I had with this kit, was that they went with someone from Paris. And I'm not that
But
there
Jordan,
needs to be.
Paris is not Jordan, it's New York.
No, correct, right? But I think they're pushing this whole like Milan is the fashion capital, but it's a fashion capital sort
so
of
support
merger.
your local type of thing.
Yeah, and I think it would have been cool to like kind of get a Milanese designer and like really try and like thrust Milan to the forefront of
that's
design.
where you'll see my best and worst, because you missed so many, and I'm going to tell you so many that
Good,
were so
I can't
good. I think overall it's great. Anything you want to talk more about it? Because there's a few things I probably want to go on.
No, I think we've got like we can talk a bit about like other designs and other collaborations, but
I think the last few things I want to say is like the only disappointing thing for me is the badge. I wish it was a bit more sort of physical, similar to the what do
have
you
a bit
call
of texture, the Scudetto patch.
Scudetto.
Yeah.
I think they needed that, because I feel like when you have this show and you're paying about $200, you want something that's a bit more sort of present, like a bit more there, because you're paying this money. You want the shirt, but you also want the little detailing in it.
Yeah.
I think if that was something a bit more. Yeah, and also I reckon a pixelated red line around the collar would have just made
like a
it
trimming.
a bit more.
It's not too different to what's on there.
I love that little trimming around it. If that had on the edge here, hey, that would have been a 10 out of 10 for me.
I think it's 170. So that's like, just to be clear, like there's a retailing for 170 Australian dollars. The only thing, and I'm just thinking about this now after you've said it, is say hypothetically they were to go with like a some sort of 3-dimensional patch. Do you have to do that to the rest as well? Because at the moment they all currently match. If you go to that point of making it look better, which I completely agree, I think it would be an awesome addition. Do you think it needs to be done to the rest of them, and then does that make it a bit over the top?
Puma always has their cat on the sleeves. It's always been simple, either sublimated or within the shirt. But I don't know. I just feel like they really needed it on this shirt. It's a great shirt. Like I said, 10 out of 10 for a reason. But I think the small little factors here and there. And again, I'm no sort of expert when it comes to this design. This is a unique design. Is the back also pixelated, or was it just black?
No, it's got both. Let's flip it.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I think if you had that sort of with the gold number,
Oh, man,
this is a great shirt. Definitely want to check out the numbers. I haven't seen it. If you can pull it up on your
I'll have a
phone.
quick look.
Last thing I would say about the shirt is Puma's done a great sort of introduction to their new Ultra Weave, Ultra Design for their shirts. So really excited. Also a bit of a plug. This is now available. There's only a few left in stock. So as of this video, I think I've been told there's 20 or so left in there.
Yeah, so there's very limited stock left at all.
So if you are watching this as of tonight, please make sure to get onto it as soon as possible. They are available online. I'm not sure how many are available in store, but they are going to be available in Ultra Sud and Ultra Nord.
Yeah, the name set's actually white.
White? Oh.
Yeah, so
Is that a legal thing for Serie A?
I'd say that would be, because I know that
Serie A.
some leagues can be so particular about having it like super obvious. I saw a really cool post by Classic Football Shirts last week, and I think it was about 6 different kits that were worn in the Champions League and worn in the leagues, and how they had big variances because I think it was UEFA's rules around having a name set that's super clear. So I think
Yeah.
you might remember like the Juventus like fast web era, like you were saying before, like
Yeah.
about sponsors, but the back of the shirt in league had no sort of, it was just the stripes the whole way through front to back, and then the name set on top, and then during the Champions League they put this like black circle through the base layer just so you could slap on
remember
the
that.
name and number
Yeah, I
and see
remember.
it super clearly, which is crazy. For me, I think just leave the shirt as it is. Like,
Yeah, European versus Serie A. There's so many different rules. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
see the Inter shirts with the map one. You have to remove the map.
yes, that was crazy. And it
Because
looked
they
like just a
can't-
plain base layer.
Yeah, you can't really promote. I think it was this weird thing about location, and then Venezia cops it with their names, the name at the front.
Lucky Melbourne Victory's never going
And
to
then
play in Europe.
Sassuolo next year. We'll see what happens to them. No more green.
Yeah, that's going to be
That's
interesting.
officially as
Actually.
of next year.
And then there's a few clubs that are actually green. I think there's someone else that I thought might have been.
I think
coming
it's only Sassuolo in the top league at the moment.
up. So moving on.
Yes, let's move on. So yeah, like I said, available at Ultra Nord and Ultra Suda and online.
Yes, other collabs we've seen in the past. There's been heaps, and I know this is your jam because you're really into this space. What do you like? How does this stack up in comparison to some of the best football fashion collaborations you've seen?
I made a comment to the boys upstairs, Mickey and Matt, and I'm like, hey, oh no, Mickey and Mitch. I'm like, hey, let me write an article. And of course, then they had Kevin from Unwanted write it, which again, he knows his things. But I feel like there's some in there that I would say to Kevin, if you listen to this, I feel like there's so many other collaborations people don't talk about.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone knows. It's like the Keeping Up with the Joneses. It's what everyone knows. No one really looks at the other collaborations.
Yeah.
There's been so many good little collabs between clubs.
Hit me with them because
You'll see.
I read this
Go into
article.
my ones first?
Yeah, hit me with
Alright,
them.
you
'cause
read the
I-
article, so you see. People all know the ones we'll mention.
the mainstream ones. Yeah.
The ones that I love, and I went worst first, so I won't mention the worst. We'll talk about that next.
Yeah.
The best ones, and forgive me for the way I pronounce these. So the Leo Colaccio with Bari, the last 2 seasons.
Oh, is this the Kappa?
Yeah.
The one that just released
That
and
was
sold out.
That was a local
Oh,
designer in
man.
Bari, and he
Yeah.
worked on representing the city.
Yeah.
First one, the squid, beautiful. Biggest regret not getting it. The chicken as well,
Yep.
beautiful. This year's weird one, I still like it. My wife saw it and goes, "Why is it the human centipede?" But I regret not getting the black one. I
Yeah.
wanted the black one. I didn't want the home one. Being an Inter fan, I really hurt me getting it.
Yeah.
But it's just a beautiful design. So Leo Colaccio, you probably pronounce it, you're
So
Italian.
did he? Sorry, before you finish up, did he do the Kappa one that just
Both.
got released recently?
Both last year and
Oh
this year.
man, Even,
So,
I
iconic,
love that new one.
Small release, didn't go viral, but that is one that people forget. Everyone knows the big brands. No one remembers this one.
No,
that was
that's
one.
amazing. Brilliant.
Second one, you remember this. It's got that off-white bone color white in the shirt. It's the Drôle de Monsieur Monaco. This year's one, that off-white
Oh,
with the
yeah.
geometric design.
Yeah.
That, again, what brand is it?
Kappa as well.
Beautiful design. Again, no one talks about it.
Yeah, that's so true.
So good. They made this big spiel about the outfits. I was like, no one's mentioning it. And I said to Kev, I'm like, mate, you should have mentioned this one.
Do you think timing is why? Do you think because
Nah,
when they
I just
release
think
it?
it's just I feel like everyone just talks about the big ones.
Yeah, okay.
Everyone just bangs on about the big ones. I don't know. Monaco and Bari on that small. You get me?
No, well, Barry's Serie B looking to go Serie A.
Third one, that one that really makes me sad is the Aries and Roma. That recent collaboration.
Oh yeah.
No one spoke about it.
That-
I was like,
that was a
"That's
big
another
deal
one."
at the start. No, that-
Look,
that's
now
what's
New
fun
Balance
about,
is, jetting off and going, they're becoming Adidas at Roma.
Yep.
But that's another one. And this is the thing. It's like everyone always like raves on about Jordan this, Jordan that. It's like
Yeah.
there's better ones, and these 3 have been neglected.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, that's interesting because like, I kept my votes very mainstream and.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know you said Jordan was good.
I know I like Jordan, but there's a reason why, and I'll,
Yeah,
I'll,
you got
I'll get
Jordan,
to the
yeah.
explanation. But I like the fact that they're a bit more obscure. No, I say obscure really loosely too because they are extremely mainstream clubs.
Yeah.
They have massive supporter bases, but it's just like they fly under the radar and you do forget about them. And then we always remember the ones like Human Race, like everyone
Loved
knows
it,
about it.
Pharrell.
Everyone chased it. Yeah. I've gone so. That was your 3 best. Do you want to do your 3 worst?
No,
or
you do
wanna-
3 best.
All right. So my best 3. Where's this list? This is all big
You
stuff.
can use mine if you want.
Um,
Just there if you want.
oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was like, wait. I can see mine and I can see yours. The Human Race. I was like, I loved it because it kind of had a nostalgic feeling.
Yeah, the Juventus one and United one were good.
Yeah, the Snowflake I love. Like, it was a
All
great
of them were
concept.
good. Even
The Bayern. I don't know. I
Real
thought the Bayern
Madrid.
was a bit drab. I don't know. Real Madrid was cool.
They were iconic though, and the
But-
goalkeeper one for the Bayern was good.
Yeah, so this is what I found funny, right? The Real Madrid one was a play on a collab that they had with the previous designer. So they went off the black kit. The black kit was off the designer. I'm going to say hopefully don't mispronounce, but Yoji Yamamoto.
Yep.
For those who don't know, 2014-15
Iconic.
season. Yeah, it's that dragon.
Yeah.
There's a name for it. Dragon bird. That they've got through the top of the shirt. CR7. It was sort of like just before I think that 5 UCL kind of era,
Yeah.
or around that 5 UCL era.
Iconic kit.
Amazing. But I just thought it was interesting that Adidas went off that design, and it was like a.
probably sort of an IP thing.
Yeah. So I was a bit like, I don't know. I like it. I liked Human Race concept. I liked it. It had a retro feel. But I just don't know. I feel like it was almost overhyped about how big it was. And that probably goes back to what you were saying about keeping up with the Joneses.
It was early days too, so not many brands had collaborators.
This is very at the forefront of that, really. The next one for me was PSG Jordan. From a kit sense, okay. I just love everything outside of the pitch that they do, and I think that's amazing. Like I think there was a jacket they did this season. It's a big, oversized, real '90s inspired jacket. So cool.
That's the thing. That's a good comment because I was like choosing the 3 that were on the pitch. So that's why I loved the Bardi, Monaco, and Rome because they played with those shirts. The one brand collaboration with the club that I like off the pitch, and you can see at the bottom there, is Moncler with Inter.
Yes.
That's just the off-pitch stuff. It's really high fashion, big, expensive stuff. But I love that. And I wish that's what we sort of saw is like the collaboration on the pitch and off the pitch.
Yeah.
So I do like what they did there. Now, my worst ones, you had a good selection there. I would have said Jordan would have been one of my worst ones because of the last couple of seasons on the pitch. But the off-pitch stuff, as you said, has been really good.
Yep.
The worst collaborations that I've seen is, Baller. It started by I think it was, what's his name? The Dutch player, I can't remember right now, but he's one of the owners of the brand. So Baller collaborated with Puma on their 3rd shirts.
Yeah.
Some of the teams like Dortmund, Milan.
Yeah.
Horrendous. We had him here at Ultra, and I did not want to look at him. Worst design.
Were they the blocked?
It was just shit.
What was it? Senator.
They've literally their collaboration just got binned after that.
Yeah.
Baller's gone MIA. All the big players used to wear it. It was like the Nike FC t-shirts.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Second one was Armani and Napoli.
Oh,
Hate
God.
that. Everything they're doing about it is just toxic.
Is that different because they're technically their manufacturer?
They're gone next year. I think they're off to
God.
Umbro or somewhere. I'm not sure where they're going. But Armani has just been horrendous.
That's a blessing for
horrendous.
football.
Off-pitch stuff, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
And third one for me was it's a bit unfortunate because I really saw it as a potential. The thing that let me down was I think the Adidas sort of implications with how they could have gone with the player spec.
Yep.
But Daily Paper, a Dutch brand, and Ajax, just horrendous. There was just these weird photo pictograms on the shirt. It was gold. I think there's still one in stock here. It was a good shirt potential, but just the overall design, it was just horrendous.
It's hard when you talk about you're trying to throw some connection to history or the city's location and dumping it on a shirt. It's not as easy as I think everyone thinks. Like you can't just get a map, dump it. You can't get like iconic parts of the world, dump it. I think and I'm thinking obviously like you've got the Italy shirt there that's got the giant crest through the base layer, but there's another Italy shirt I think we had on the show on the Italy episode. And that was kind of like the gladiator kind of chest. And I was like, that's kind of cool. Like there's a bit of a play on, some history there. I'm like, and it was really subtle. So, and I think that's probably a key, right? Like it needs to be subtle and there needs to be some sort of sentimental attachment. So my worst 3 was, I think I'm going to go with my pet hate, and it's the Umbro Pata collab. And my pet hate is because it was almost like when Umbro did that re-release of one of their kits during the World Cup, of the England, I think it was one of the England shirts. And I'm just like, it's not any different to the retro kit, really. But it's not the retro kit.
Yeah.
I think they look nice, but I just was like, I felt like it was a cop-out. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a vintage kit guy and it's, my thing. And I was like, I'd kind of rather just the real shirt.
I agree. The Inter Milan ones with the sash and all that, like I love them.
They look cool. I got nothing
I saw
against
in
that.
person, great shirt. But like, if you're gonna spend that money, it's the same price as the vintage one.
How much were they going for at the time?
Like 180.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I don't know. I'd rather try and hunt down one, like even if it means trying to find a bargain on eBay or somewhere. But I think I'd be more comfortable buying a retro shirt in that case.
100%. Nothing wrong with Pata though.
No, Juventus, Adidas, and Palace skateboards.
The one shirt they did was horrendous. Like, it was okay, and people frothed about it. I feel like the off-pitch stuff was better. Like, I really wanted the scarf.
Again, agree. I just felt like it was super overhyped. It was just because Ronaldo was there that it got the attention that it probably needed for sales. But I don't know. Again, I just think it was like, this hits a lot of good checkpoints. I don't think that hit the ones that it needed to hit. I think it was just like...
It was early days too.
Yeah, it was. And it was like, what, 16, 17 or something?
Yeah, a while ago.
My last one was Nike Off-White. And that was... Did they do anything on pitch for that? No.
Nah, it was boots and a few like
Fanwear.
off-field jerseys, which went
the boots
pretty high.
The boots were okay. But the fan wear, I was just... I don't know. I didn't understand it. I think I didn't see the connection. I felt like Nike
The boots
FC...
on the wall, I think.
Possibly. I think the Nike FC stuff was enough for that space. I don't think that space needed that collab there.
If it was match worn stuff, it was actual jerseys that Off-White made.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, this is why my selections were on the pitch, like actual worn, like this one.
Yeah.
Because you look at some of those collaborations, like that Pata one is great for the fashion scene, but it's horrible for the collectors.
Yeah.
And that's good selection. I do agree with you on the Pata. And even the Nike Off-White, it's like, why design something that was just made for sort of the onlookers? Like Virgil, great design, may rest in peace.
Yeah.
But like the simplicity of it, it could have been perfect on pitch. Simple, like it could have literally... It's like
block
you
pattern.
disrupt the football scene.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny that I don't know. Maybe there's something to having an element of the collaboration on pitch, and then you can go and be a little bit different and find some alternative designs to take it off pitch. And maybe that's why I liked what Jordan did, because they do have a kind of a good connection between both, and they're doing it year after year as well.
I feel like the first couple of seasons of Jordan was refreshing, and I said it with Ryan the other day. It was bringing basketball culture to the game and vice versa.
Yeah.
And you're seeing that with now the LeBron stuff with Liverpool. But I don't know. I feel like they missed the mark this season with their third shirt, or the fourth one, or the one from Paris Lights, the black and gold. I just feel like there's a time now where Jordan needs to rethink their designs.
Yeah. And, like we just said, it's not that easy. Like, it's not easy to have a connection to a kit, a connection to a country or, city.
Yeah.
It takes a little bit of work. And, this is the thing too, right? They've been doing it for however many years. It's probably been at least 7 or 8 years now.
Long time.
Yeah. So, and I know they're coming towards the end of that tenure, and whether that continues will yet to be known. But I think it's definitely a matter of making sure there's a connection.
Has there been any collaborations in the Premier League? I feel like it's the only scene that hasn't seen a collaboration with the shirt in the league.
That's a good point.
Like, there has been the Chinese New Year ones where both Man City and a few have worn on the pitch.
There was that Man City Man United classic.
Yeah, that was a classic. It wasn't a collaboration.
It wasn't a collaboration.
More like sponsorless shirts.
Yeah.
There hasn't really been a Premier League one. I know some clubs have done a sort of connection thing, and we've seen now with Bristol City, our little mention the other day, where Hummel's gone off the market for a bit, and they don't have stock, so they've gone now to O'Neill's.
Yes.
So obscure manufacturers.
I wonder how many other clubs have done a mid-season release. Because re-release. So it was like terminated.
They say it's next year's shirt, but was it really next year's shirt?
It's going to be one of those ones where you see it resold in a few years and you're like, it was 2023, it was 2024. Like, what was it?
Yeah, has that happened before?
I don't know. I can't think of any off the top of my head. I'm sure there'll be some shirt gurus that might actually know.
I know you and I always talk about the whole, reusing the shirt for the year after, but that shirt now, the Hummel one for the start of the season, that's going to be kind of iconic because it was half a season.
Yeah.
That's a good discussion there.
Yeah. It'll be one of those, like, worn a couple of times. I guess they wore it a fair few times, but, even if it's 20 games worth of a season in it, it's still odd.
I think, I think that on topic of the fashion and football element, there's going to be a lot more happening in the future. I do see it becoming a normal part of the football spectrum. I think the biggest worrying signs for me is what Armani's doing with Napoli. It's just putting football in a backward step where it's just creating garbage week out, and with like the reindeer one they did, the Christmas one, the Spider-Man one,
They
the
weren't
horror
even
one.
designs. That's literally just some
They're
monkey
just
or the
terrible.
computer just
They're
going,
like
idea.
Like this
logic.
is amazing. It's showing, and let's not forget we did the one with for Jamaica. Who was that designer?
We spoke about last week or before.
I've gone mentally blank right now, but that designer right there, like amazing. And I'm not sure if you've seen, but Chris and I spoke the other day, an amazing New Balance collaboration with Amy Leon Dior. They've got this beautiful shoe that I've got, the 550s, but now they're making their own jerseys in the fashion element. And now even this morning I saw Zara's releasing their own jerseys.
Yeah, so many.
So everyone's releasing jerseys now. So this is the thing, is like, are we going to fall into a trap where everyone's got jerseys? Like, I know I've designed one. I know we've seen, like, Unwanted design one. Even local lads like Sport are designing amazing ones. I got to show you the photo shoot they did with WTO 98. There's amazing creators out there. When are we going to see non-iconic designers or big-time designers when we see, like, smaller designers? Like, for example, I mentioned to Melbourne City up, and I'm like, hey, can I design the home shirt next year? It's 10 years, like a beautiful time. I've been at the club. I'd love to design a shirt. And like, we've already chosen our shirts.
Let's say that it's just chosen. It's just like, his
so
templates,
I
good
sit
luck.
there, it's like, is there ever going to be a small, like, Phil Delves, that local shirt guy? He designed the Red Star Paris shirt. Yeah. And they wore it, and it's amazing to see that. Are we ever going to see a small designer design a big team shirt?
I don't know. Well, I know Koche is not small, but...
Yeah, but they're close to making big bucks.
Oh, of course. But I don't know. Do you need to be big to be recognised by the club? Yeah, probably. You need to do something big. You got to do something to make noise. You can't just be selected out of the blue, right?
I'd love to design a jersey, like for a big team, like club.
It seems funny, though, that it's becoming like a thing. Like, we're as football fans, right? That's why we're in this scene. That's why we love, this whole... everything that it sort of, like, includes. And... Is it going to be weird when you see someone wearing a football shirt that's not a football shirt?
Yeah, not many people know. Like, literally, funny story. I went to the market. You should come this Sunday if you... Oh, no, you got to pop up. We're going Sunday. I walked across this lady, probably in the late 50s. Yeah. She was wearing, like, black leather pants, high boots. She had scruffy blonde hair, big black glasses. And guess what jersey she was wearing?
Tell me.
Inter Milan.
Yeah, wow.
Icardi on the back, number 9.
Okay, yeah.
It was a fake. It had no Nike swoosh.
Yeah.
But she was wearing it. And I said to her, amazing jersey. Like, I was giving a compliment. And she thought, oh, thank you. And she didn't know. Yeah. And I was like, fuck, that's so good to seeing non-football people wearing it.
Yeah, it is good.
And then the other day I went to ice cream with my daughter and my wife, daughters. And this guy was wearing a Costa Rica jersey, retro.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I was like... That's
cool.
Yeah. But we're seeing it become more of everyday culture.
Yeah.
So the question is, are people going to look at it as a football jersey or a fashion item?
I guess it depends on where you're coming from, right?
A football jersey becoming now what Chicago Bulls jerseys are.
You know what? That's actually a great point. I'm not into basketball by any means, but I did have a Chicago Bulls jersey.
Why'd you buy it?
Because I needed a singlet.
But everyone wore them. I could never pull off the basketball. I support Trailblazers. I barely watch the NBA, but I needed a team. Yeah. Support Trailblazers, Portland, of course, Nike head through and through. Yeah. But like, yeah, seeing the jersey culture for basketball in high school. It's interesting, isn't it? I bought one because I was like, I need to be a part of this culture. I didn't want to buy Bulls, but it's like now looking at football jerseys, it's going to become that thing where people just wear it.
It is. I think it is. It's going to be just that football jerseys are a fashion item now, and then it's a bigger plus if you've got a football connection there. Yeah. So for us, we're going to pick teams that we like. For people that don't know, they'll be like, oh, that's a cool design. I'll jump on that. So I guess that's where these fashion collabs come in handy, and they're like, they are a bit more fashion forward and they're a bit more inclined to connect with that audience.
Beautiful. Last thing I'll say is, look, the jersey's available here, Ultra. 38 minutes so far, so definitely we'll probably have to cut it off. Big one coming up this weekend. Paul, what is happening at Ultra?
So we've got the pop-up this weekend. It's going to be massive. So I've lined up a Grail Rail. So we used to call it the Grail Rack, and someone on social media pointed out that the Grail Rail was a great name. And I was like, great call. So we've got a Grail Rail. Grail Rail.
Is it Grail Rail or Rail of Grail?
Well, I guess you could have it either way. I don't know. But come check it out because it is literally just
Hail the Grail
stacked.
Rail.
It's stacked with big dogs. So it's literally like name sets. We've got shirts with name sets that are just iconic players, and then a mix of, ultra rare shirts. There's that Fiorentina 7-Up shirts in there too, which is crazy. So yeah, we've definitely stocked up on some elite level kits.
What time does it start?
We're here. So it's normal operation hours for Ultra. So we're here all day, Saturday and Sunday, which is sick. Unwanted's going to have some stuff here as well. 3032 is coming down, and Ultra's got their 4v4 tournament. So you're going to be stacked for entertainment. You're going to be stacked for food and drinks from Panenka as well. And there's going to be football shirts.
What about me?
Oh, you're coming too.
On Saturday.
Oh, yeah, Saturday. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so if you are after my jersey, version 2 is still
Yeah.
available. How many? We have a few left, yeah?
Heaps. Yeah, heaps,
All right, so we'll definitely have this wall set up, so please bring down.
Yes.
I reckon we'll print some new photos for that day.
I think we should. Maybe we should get some people to
have
make some
the couch.
suggestions.
Yeah, you know what? We should have it like just people take a photo with it.
That'd be cool.
Oh, I know we don't have a big podcast, but
No.
people do listen to it.
I'm down.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Victory on the bottom of the ladder as we speak. I'm really happy to say that. Make sure to subscribe to PSV Vintage.
Yes, PSV. Please don't subscribe to PSV. PFC, please.
PFC Vintage, Between Two Shirts on Instagram, and of course, Talking Shirt.
Thank you guys.
Stay safe, stay with stupid people.
We'll catch you later.
And we'll see you in the next episode. Bye. Please not recorded.
Yeah.